Hi everyone, good day. So today I'm going to be showing us the next workflow. So the next workflow is 24 hours installation, which is more like installation and campaign monitoring. So I'm going to just give us an summary overview of how the project starts. So we have a lead details. So the client fill the form for lead details of their property. Now once they fill the details of their property, the company get their email and a quote is sent to the styling team. So let's say the company now has a styling team for the property. So a quote is sent to the styling team, and the team filled that the team got the quote. So the team is going to uh, fill the quote and then send it back to the client. So once the styling team write the quote for that property and then send it back to the client is going to review it and then is going to accept. So once that client accepts that quote, then an email will be sent to the client. So these clients now, we got an email to get the access key of the properties, the access method, and all those things that are required for the styling team to visit the property and then to do their styling and other stuff. So once the client fill that particular form, which is the access form, so the access form contains more of like the key code to the property, like anything that is required for them to be able to have access to the property. So once the styling team got that details, now this fourth phase, which is the installation and the campaign monitoring, is whereby the styling team is going to go to the property and start doing the styling, doing the installation and other stuff. So here is the flow of how that is going to happen. So once the styling team has gotten the access code to the property, now we are going to create a trigger. So this trigger is going to be running every 9 a.m. to check any client details or client job that has been done after 24 hours. So it's going to check any job that has been done after 24 hours, and then it's going to send an email to the client to congratulate them on the when the styling team has finished the installation, the styling of the property, and congratulate the client, and then offer them a new campaign of maybe a new design of what they can add to that particular installation that has been done before. So once they do that, then if the client decided to proceed again to do some add-ons, some upsell services, if the client decide to accept the upsell services that was talked about or told them about in order to make their property more stylish and beautiful, so they are going to show us that as well. So here is the flow. So once this is so here now we call it 24 hours after installation date. So here is after, let's say today is the installation date, and it has been, let's say it has been installed 24 hours before the installation date, and so here the trigger is going to run every 9 a.m. It's going to search for jobs that are installed, and it's 24 hours before that installation date. So, and also it's going to check if any upsell has not been sent. So we don't want to keep sending email to the client. So we want to know that, okay, if an upsell services email has been sent to the email before, we don't want to send it again. So we decided to keep track of this upsell sent. So this upsell sent will ensure us to know that, okay, this particular email has not been sent to this client before, so we are going to send it again. So once it has been sent before, it's not going to be sent again. So we are avoiding a way not to send an email multiple times, because if we have sent it before, we don't want to send it again. So that's why we have that. So once we do that, we are sending an email to the client. So this client now is going to get the email of the services and or the upsell services, and proceeded to say, okay, they want to do that, and if they don't want, they are not going to do anything about it. So once we do that, we are updating the record with the date the upsell was sent, and also we are using the ID of the client, and we are updating the date the upsell was sent. So after that, then we go to our other phase, so our workflow. So this workflow now is when, let's say, the client has gotten the email and has accepted to go ahead with the upsell services campaign that was offered again after the 24 hours installation. So here we have we have our, so here now, so once they got the email, so let's say I'm going to go to this place, I'm going to run these services. So let me show you the data. So here is to show that the upsell services email has been sent, so we don't want to send it again. So this is where it's going to say update. It's going to update this upsell services sent and the date it was sent. So let's run this and see. So I'm going to run it. So you can see it sees 7 job, so it's going to email the 7 client job, and then it's going to update their record. Now if you go to our email, so here, so you can see it updates the upsell sent and the date it was sent. So if you go to our email, one of the clients, so this is the email of one of the clients. So now it's saying, congratulations, your property installation styling is now installed, looking at it best. So here is after the installation has been done, after the 24 hours installation. So they are trying to offer an upsell services to the client again. So let's say the client decided to proceed with the upsell services. So I'm going to click this button. So once I click this button, it's going to take me to a form. So this is the form. So here now, because the client pick the mid campaign, so the data that is sent to this form will be made clean campaign, because that is what the client clicked on. So if the user clicked on this touch of visit, the data that will be passed to the form is the touch of visit. So it's more of like a hidden field. So I'm going to put a preferred date, and then let's say I'm going to pick today. I'm not going to put any notes because this is not required. So once I put this date, I'm going to submit. But before I submit, I'm going to go to the other workflow before. So I'm going to explain. So here is the workflow. So here is what is going to do. So once we submit this form, this particular workflow is going to trigger. So it's saying that the data comes in when the client is interested in the upsell offer and click one of the upsell services. So once you click on the upsell services and submit the form, the data is going to be picked here, and then this data is now, so we are using the edit field to structure the data, so for us to have a clean data and how to know what we are working with. So after that, we are getting the details for that particular client. So once we get the details of that particular client, we are updating the details with the services that we're choosing. So when they choose from the email, they choose the mid campaign claim. So here we are going to update the record with the upsell services, and after that we are going to check if this particular client has an is created before we create the customer. So we are going to find if this client exists. So if it exists, now here you are checking if the client exists. So if the client exists, we don't want to create it again. We just want to pass it to the just want to pass it to just want to pass it to the uh sorry just want to pass it to this operation so we can create the invoice. So once we create the invoice, then we check. Now this place is to check. Now, like I was saying in this form, I said we are passing a preferred date. So that place here is checking if there is a preferred date that was chosen by the client. So once there is a preferred date, that means we are going to send a calendar and a we are going to send a calendar and we are going to create a calendar with that preferred date, and we are going to notify the operational team about the services that was selected by the client. But if there is no preferred date, we are going to send we are not going to do anything, but we just send an email to the operational team and tell them that this particular customer is interested in these upsell services and and want to want to continue with the upsell services, but they should call the client on what time or preferred date that they will want. So this is when we don't have a preferred date. So that is how this.
All right. So after we've explained the flow, now I'm going to run this workflow. But before I run that, so after we've gotten the email, the client has gotten the email that the styling has been completed. So the email will also include the upsell services. Probably the client might be interested in upsell services. So this is the email that they are going to get. So part of the upsell services is the mid campaign clean, touch up visit, and add-ons items. So more of like extra PCs, keys room, and all. So once the client decided to proceed and do some upsell services, so it's going to click one of these. So when they click on any of these, it's going to lead them to the tally form to provide the preferred date they want this particular upsell services to be done for the property. So I'm going to pick mid campaign clean. So once I pick mid campaign clean, so it's going to say schedule your upsell services. So I'm going to choose a preferred date. So I'm choosing to any notes. I don't have any for now. So I'm going to, now that I've done that, so I'm going to go to the workflow. So here I'm going to execute this workflow. So once I execute it in our database, this is the clients that we want to update. So we have the upsell services and the time the client accepted to make the upsell services changes to his apartment. So once we do that, once we submit, it's going to update this data. Now let's go. So I'm going to submit, and we see how the workflow is going to run. So submit, we go. So here it's creating. Now, because there is a preferred date that the user selected, that is why it's create a calendar event for the for the client, and also email the operational team about the details, the types of upsell services that the client has picked. So once they do that, the operational team is going to get an email. So here now, they've gotten an email that the client has accepted to proceed with the upsell services that will be rendered for their property. So which is the made campaign, and the upsell invoice has been created and sent to the client. So here is our invoice. If we go to, so here we are using Invoice Ninja. So this is the client. Here is the same client. You know, at the first, I think on the third workflow, we have when the styling team has sent the code of that property to the client, and the client has seen the code. So this is the invoice that was sent to the client. Now for this new one that was just done, so we see the new one and the invoice that was sent to them. So this is the new invoice. This is the new, you can see the upsell services, made campaign clean, cost, the unit, and then the total. So that's the invoice, and also sent to the client about the invoice as well. So here we have the flow for the upsell services and how it's going to go. And in our database, we are going to see that the upsell services has been updated for this particular client, and the date and time the person accepted to go with the upsell services. So that is for this phase 4 workflow, and I hope we are all following with the journey for this building this real estate end-to-end operational property and staging and styling business. And thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat or drop it in the comment section, and let's talk about it. And yeah, so bye everyone, and thank you very much.